Well, hello, Internet. What's up today? How's everybody doing? Mm. It is Saturday. It is the weekend. Hopefully, you've been having some fun, having a good old time. Everything's going well. I want to get us started on this chat right tonight, so I want to play something. I know Duke will be pumped about it, and we've seen it before, but I want to get it going. I want to get this chat started right. So
Let's
here
do
we
it.
go.
Let's do it, baby. What is it?
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble or
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I get a copyright slap every time I play that, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
who
I
gives a
love
fuck?
that.
That's badass.
Oh man, that's great. That's great stuff.
Ah, love that.
That
Love
whole
it.
thing, that whole intro. The
Dude.
GI Joe intros are all good.
They're all
that's
good, but that one for the
really good.
movie.
Yeah,
My God, I love that movie intro, man.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. But anyway, I
All
just
right.
want to get everybody pumped
Since it
up.
started out with the G.I. Joe thing,
Uh-huh.
I got something to say about last week's chat.
Okay.
Y'all were talking about the what y'all consider the vintage G.I. Joe stuff from the 80s and 90s. And while y'all talking about that, I'm thinking, that's cute. I had the big 12-inch G.I. Joe as a kid. I wanted the G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip, man.
No. The real G.I. Joe is the 80s, man. That's when they shine.
No. Oh, no.
Come on.
Oh yes.
Got to get the big 12-inch dudes, man.
I
I
mean,
had
look,
the one with that
those are cool and all.
old-fashioned diving suit with the big brass helmet.
But you didn't have Shipwreck or Cobra Commander or Duke or Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes or
yeah.
Mainframe or Charbroil or Blowtorch or the list goes on and on. There was no
Yeah, I mean-
Flint, no Lady J, no Scarlet, no Cover Girl. Where? I mean, like,
yeah,
I'm just
I would
saying.
agree.
I'm just saying,
But
like,
you can make
if
the one
that had
character
been,
all of them just by changing their uniform.
I'm just saying, like, but if
Except for
those had
Lady
been the
Jane.
GI Joes when Duke was a
There it
little
is.
kid, he never would have joined the Marines.
Never. I mean, we needed the GI Joe that we got so that I could join the Marines.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. That's what what propelled me into the service. I
Yeah.
thought it was good. Every day was going to be GI Joe. Happens to find out, nothing like it.
codename shithead. I love
Code
that.
name shithead. That was really funny that you made that. It was hilarious.
Yes, I showed Duke the card that I made and sent him a picture of it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that GI Joe stuff, man, is so expensive. I follow a bunch of pages on Facebook from it, and guys are showing off their collections, and they'll show what they paid for something. Somebody paid
Oh,
this
dude.
week. They paid $500 for an inbox. What's the airplane? What's the Joe?
with the
F-
striker. There's
The
fuck, I don't
Striker.
remember.
The Striker.
Striker. Yeah,
It was the Striker. It was
the
guy
F-16, right?
paid F-16. Yeah,
Yeah.
he paid $500 for it. I mean,
You know,
okay, but that's like you and I showing off a Beretta.
that's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
If you put it in context, like, okay, dude, you paid $500 for a toy that was like $20, but you don't bat an eye when I don't.
Yeah,
think
if you
it's
told me
crazy
you
real-
spent $1,000 on an AR, I'd be like, okay, cool.
cool, man. Like, let me see
know.
it. Like, that's what you would. So I get it. I guess it's just everybody has their thing. Like, I think
Yeah.
people that spend all their money on trucks, like,
Yes.
like
I got
get
a new lift kit. It only cost me $1,500. Like what?
Yeah, like, oh,
Exactly.
I got a truck. My payments are
I don't know if lift kits
$900
cost
a month.
$1,500, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. Dude, I'm a part of a bunch of the Facebook pages, the GI Joe Facebook pages,
Yeah,
and because I've been looking for it. I want a Rattler. That was my favorite of all the vehicles when I was a kid. Was the Cobra Rattler. And I've been looking for one forever. And I mean, you could find them. They're just ridiculously expensive. So I'm always looking to see, and because people sell stuff all the time on those Facebook pages, and it's always like that. It's $100, $150, $200, $250, whatever it is. Especially if it's still in the box, then it's hundreds of dollars and stuff. Ones that are all jacked up, missing parts, are still like $100 and stuff. And so I see this stuff all the time. And then like 2 weeks ago, this guy puts on a post on one of the GI Joe Facebook pages I'm a part of. And he's like, guys, I hear about it happening. I never thought it would happen to me. And I'm like, and he's got some pictures. I can't really tell what the pictures are. It's like a bunch of just stuff in like the back of a car, but he's got like 20 pictures. And when the post pops up, you only see like the first or second picture or whatever.
Yep.
I can't tell what it is. And he starts telling this story. And as he, like in the thing, and I'm reading the story. Well, turns out he went to a garage sale and for $50 bought the entire USS Flag.
Oh my god!
Are you kidding me?
And the pictures were progressing as he was loading them into his car. And then when he gets home and he spreads all the parts out, and he's got the whole thing. He's got the entire USS Flag for $50 at a garage sale. And I was just like, oh!
So like,
fuck you.
So like, all I can think of is that person has to not have internet,
Mm-hmm.
no longer have a television, because everyone knows that everything has value now,
Yes.
especially old toys. Like it would just like they may not know like ball. They may sell it for like $400 when it's worth $1,000.
Yeah.
But like to let it go for $50, that's
I mean,
crazy, dude.
What does it go for now, though? I know it's not 50.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean you can get
More
like
of a lifetime.
parts of it for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's missing
insane how
like
much that thing
like
costs.
yeah, and like there'll be like a gangway or a staircase that's worth like $75 because it's the part, and there's the most sought out. It's like there's a piece on the top that was like a satellite dish, and that is worth a bunch of money because that's like the first.
That was the first thing that got lost. Yeah. Like it's insane. So I see these posts, and that type doesn't pop up hardly ever.
Yeah,
but I'm just like, I wish that would happen to me. Like it's one of those. Please God, I don't ask for much, but no, it's one of those types of things. But
if you could and had the capability to 3D print, how much would it cost to 3D print that with all accessories?
That's a good question.
Okay, so there's guys that do it, and that's where a lot of parts are being refurbed or remade for Joe's kits, because guys they have like the basic vehicle, and then they even print like the window, like the shield, like the blast shields.
Yeah.
They reprint everything, and then the sticker guys that can print everything.
Yeah.
So
I've bought some of those 3D printed parts before for Star Wars, just a couple. But so I've got my Y-wing here, right?
Yeah.
And I could not find the front cannons.
Yep.
And I found a dude who 3D printed them. So I could finish it because everything else on it's original.
I love that ship.
I always thought, and I know in Star Wars canon, this thing was like the bomber that was kind of slow or whatever, but I always thought this was the coolest design. Maybe partly because it looked a little Star Trek-ish with the nacelle things or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know. I love the cockpit on it and everything. I loved this thing as a kid.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't have on this one is the bomb. There's a bomb that's supposed to attach down here that I don't have.
Yeah.
And they're redonkulously expensive online, and I don't think anybody 3D prints them.
Because they get lost. So
yeah, exactly.
Gets lost.
Exactly. So, so I've gotten some of those I can't imagine what somebody would charge to 3D print an entire USS Flag. That's insane.
Well, I've seen some guys build parts of it out of wood and repaint it, and there's like details of how to cut it out of like plywood and things like that.
Yeah,
I've seen that done by some guys. I've even seen some guys, and I don't know how you feel about this, but guys turn the flag into Cobra. They'll
make it like a Cobra.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
make it look, like it's taken over by Cobra or it's a.
That's cool, man. Like
It's-
if I could have two and one was Cobra and one was Joe and just have them as like my coffee tables in the middle of this room where they're like fighting
Oh,
each
yeah.
other at sea, that would be awesome. That would also cost like $10,000 to do
It
that,
would.
but it would be great.
If you had $1 billion and you just
Yeah,
had like to spend money, that would
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like I've said before. If I ever win the lottery, I will tell no one. But there will be a USS flag
Signs.
behind me.
There'll be
There will be
signs.
signs. There will be signs.
But that's cool.
Yeah, I fucking love G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
looks like we got. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we got a new geek over there on the Never Enough Ammo side. Jacob decided to join the channel. Thank you, Jacob. And then we got a super chat from Ghost Shadow says if Joe was Joe Biden, that would be D.I. Doe. That's what that would be. So
How's that again?
Well, he would take away all their semi-automatic rifles.
Yeah.
And they would all be running around with bolt actions.
G.I. Doe. Like that. That's that's what that would be. So
yeah.
They would think that the president had been replaced by Zartan because he was making so many mistakes. But then they realized that it wasn't, and it was just Joe Biden.
Yes, that's
He
right.
was just that dumb.
Like, no, Zartan's in the White House. No, it's not.
No,
It's not
no.
him. We already checked. We ran a
We
blood
already
test.
we captured him.
Yeah. We just said, come with us. And he went, okay. And that was it. So,
Yeah, Zartan's already been captured. Like, we know that this guy's acting this dumb. It's not Zartan.
Yeah, it's not Zartan. Good. Cool, man. But yeah, anyway, G.I. Joe. Fucking love G.I. Joe. Anybody wants to talk about G.I. Joe in the chat, just fucking throw some shit in there because I don't care. I talk about G.I. Joe all day, but we can bounce in and out of G.I. Joe because I do want to talk about the season finale of Andor. And Duke, I know you haven't seen Andor yet. And so I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to give anything away.
Okay. I'm not going to be mad if you do. I mean, it's
well, we already know like how Andor ends. I mean, let's be honest. You all
right.
seen Rogue
Like
One.
it's okay because like I've heard that it's good and you should watch it, but it's not like running around lightsabers.
No,
it's like slow burn.
So, well, the first half is slow burn, and yeah, the first half, the first 6 episodes are a slow build up, and as I've talked about before, like those episodes kind of lost me. You know what I mean? To the point that I had stopped watching for 3 weeks so I could binge watch 3 episodes in a row.
Mm.
The second half, the last 6 were fucking great. They were great.
Really? Okay.
Loved the last 6 episodes, and I realized it's just one of those shows, like many other shows that I've watched, that it has slow build up in the first half of the season, and this does. And I mean, hell, even Game of Thrones kind of did that. Not there was other stuff in it, but
Man in the High Castle did that a lot.
yeah, exactly.
Remember?
Yeah. And this is like that. And the first 6 episodes are setting this stuff up. And then, in the 7th episode, stuff happens and things change. And it gets, in my opinion, I found like it was kicking up. It was much more like I was more into the story and stuff. And then once those things happened, the beginning was like, okay, I get it. Whatever. We were building up to this stuff. And absolutely, I think the first season is, if you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely got to watch this show. Because it was really good. I mean, it's not as good as like Mandalorian season 2, in my opinion. But those are for different reasons. It's a different type of show. Mandalorian's more traditionally Star Wars. This is much more Rogue One. Which Rogue One was a very different feeling movie from most other Star Wars movies. There was no Jedis or any of that stuff. There was no lightsabers. You did get one sneak peek for an awesome scene, one of the greatest scenes in all of Star Wars, of Darth Vader. But other than that, it was all about like ground level, regular people in the fight. It wasn't really about any of the archetypal heroes, right?
Well, that's okay though. Like
and that's what
everything
this is.
needs to be like. That's why I think I'll give this a shot. I just things been going, but like I don't want everything to be a saga and like epic proportions where the galaxy is in like the threat of the whole galaxy is hanging in the balance of one person's decisions. Like,
Yeah.
I want some smaller scale things that are a little bit setback. This is what we want.
Yeah. And this is basically, this first season is the story of how Andor becomes a part of the rebellion. And that's what it is. He's the main focus, but there are plenty of other characters. You got Mon Mothma in there. There's another character who's, helping to. This is at the very beginning of the rebellion. He's helping to build the rebellion. He's not exactly a good guy, although he has a speech in the 10th or 11th episode. I can't remember. That is phenomenal.
Oh, I've heard that speech.
You've heard the Stellan Skarsgård's character?
Yeah, that speech that he gives about like what he's given up.
Yeah.
Or like what he's lost or something. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's fantastic. What he's giving up and sacrificing for the greater good of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. It's phenomenal. And then there's a whole speech in the very last episode. I don't want to give anything away who gives the speech or anything like that. That is like gets you pumped up. It is like this movie basically builds into it. Starts with us figuring out who Andor is and watching him go through the things he needs to go through to where he eventually, we know he's going to join the rebellion. But it's also when you watch the whole season, it's also like he is the perfect character in this for how the rebellion grew. And you're watching everything that he goes through and everything that happens to him or those people around him. And it's like this show is the perfect, like, if you could pick, like, okay, well, we've got to tell what was it, what was going on, what were the things that were happening to people that made them finally rebel. This is like the story you would want to see, because it doesn't encompass everybody in the galaxy, but it's the perfect little like view into what was going on and what was happening and what people were having to deal with that led people to finally just flip the switch and rebel and create a full-blown rebellion that would eventually lead to the downfall of the Empire. And seeing it through his eyes and the characters that are around him that he knows was a perfect entry into that. And like I said, in the last episode, in the season finale, leads to this like big speech that's given by somebody that just like, for this little view into the world of the building rebellion we're seeing is like the fucking catalyst to just set off the rebellion. And it's great, man. Like, I was slow to get into it. I really was. I was slow to get into it. I was very vocal about that. But I'm really glad I watched it. If you're a little bit like, sensitive to, slow burn shows, this is now the time to watch it, because you can binge watch it. And most episodes are 30 minutes or so. So it's a very easy watch to get through all 12 episodes. You can literally watch the entire thing in an afternoon. Okay. It's like 6 hours total to watch the whole thing. And I highly recommend it if you like Star Wars. It was genuinely great. It was really, really, really good, really entertaining. Even with the slow start, everything pays off in the end. And I was very, very happy with the show overall, even though I was not happy at the beginning. So I can highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think it was to the point that I watched it because we watched the first couple episodes, me and my wife, and she couldn't get into it. And I'm going to rewatch it with her now that we can binge watch it, because I want to see it again. I want to watch it all over again. Yeah, I really liked it. I highly recommend it. Everybody should check it out. Duke, I think you'll like it.
All right, I will. I will definitely check it out. I kind of wanted to wait. I'll be honest. There's some shows that should just be watched in a binge mode. And
Yes.
This may be one of them where I have no qualms because I watched it in one day and loved every minute of it. You know what I mean? Where you said, "Oh, well, it's kind of slow," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't really feel that." Like the same way we talk about Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Which I don't even want to talk about Walking Dead.
Oh, we're going to, because we still have to talk about the finale, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, Duke, I think you're gonna like it. It was really good, and just watch it. Like I said, and maybe I I don't know, but I'll put you in the mind frame I wish I had been from the very beginning, which is this is our little view into how the rebellion starts. And it doesn't focus on everybody. It's just focusing on Andor as the main character and the people around him and the things going on around him. But you are watching the rebellion form throughout these 12 episodes. That's what you're watching.
Mhm.
And that's the mind frame you should be in when you're watching it. Because everything ends up paying off and everything means something. You know, every character you meet, everything that they go through, even in the first few episodes where shit's kind of slow, it all comes back around and pays off in the end. And you see everything. So it's a definite must watch if you're a Star Wars fan. I ended up loving it, and I'm looking forward to like rewatching it all over again. So very happy because I was man, those first 3 episodes when they dropped them, I was just like, okay, well, all right. I mean, it's Star Wars, cool, you know, but not a lot happened in those first 3 episodes. And then the second 3 episodes, same thing. I kind of felt like, well, there's not a lot happening here. And then it progresses throughout the show, and I was very happy. So I definitely give it 2 thumbs up for the first season. But
Me too.
that's where I'm at with that. So go out, binge watch it, enjoy it, and then I want to hear about it when everybody binge watches it. I want to see what, because I know a lot of people haven't watched it. I'm not sure why. Like, this isn't like The Mandalorian, and I think maybe part of it might be because the last couple shows we've got, Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, have been, you know, mixed reviews from people. Right. So maybe this one came along and people were like, I don't know. I'll wait. And I get that because there were issues with Boba Fett and there were issues with Obi-Wan. You know, I think both of those were honestly too long. Both of them would have made great movies. And instead they were multiple episodes of a show. And there were periods throughout those that just felt drug out. Now, I can say in defense of Boba Fett, 2 of the episodes were drug out in the form of like some awesome Mandalorian content, you know,
I was gonna say Mandalorian,
which was great because Boba Fett was basically just Mandalorian season 2.5. I mean, that's kind of what it was.
Those were my favorite 2 episodes of the entire Boba Fett was the Mando episodes.
Yeah, those were great.
Well, yeah, and I liked
hipster with the Vespas. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I liked the Sand People stuff, but it just
I did too, and I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I thought that was some of that's good Star Wars. That's really good Star Wars.
Yeah, because I know, like we were talking to Han about this, and he hated that part. He hated the Sand People part, and I was like, I thought it was good. Like I enjoyed seeing that backstory. That's the first time we've ever gotten. Like, Sand People are just always this random bad guy that are either shooting at pod racers or, you know, whatever, right? Like, there's never been any depth to Sand People on screen. So it was cool to see that. I thought it was cool to see that. I enjoyed that part of the show, but I know a lot of people didn't. So I don't know, man. It was kind of cool because we got to learn more about, they've been around since the very first movie. You know, and we really didn't know anything about anything. I mean, other than they were just always the bad guy on Tatooine. You know what I mean? They killed Anakin's mother, you know, or they were shooting at fucking Anakin's pod racer, or you know what I mean? They knocked out Luke and Obi-Wan had to save him. Like we didn't really know anything about them, and certainly didn't get any in depth on them. And so, you know,
and they screamed like a donkey.
Yes, exactly. So I enjoyed that part of Boba Fett. I enjoyed that and the Mandalorian stuff more than I enjoyed fucking space Vespas and shit.
Well, the only other issue I had with Boba Fett was the actor Morrison himself. He's great for the role, but now he's too old. He's actually technically too old to be that role at that time period. Boba should be what 35 around that time period,
give or take. Yeah, and that dude's pushing like 60 or something.
He's currently 61, so he's probably like 58, 59 when he did the show.
Yeah,
no, he's older than that.
He's 61 years old.
No, I'm saying Boba Fett's older than 35 in that. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no, because Boba Fett was born. We saw Boba Fett was about 12 years old the first time we see him.
Mhm.
Then you skip another 5 years, we get to fuck, I'm blanking on names. Revenge of the Sith. So he's roughly 17. We see him in Clone Wars off and on. So by the time A New Hope shows up, which is roughly 18 years later, we
Yeah.
see that. So he's supposed to be in his mid 30s during, because
Right.
A New
So then
Hope,
it's
A New
10
Hope,
years
Empire
later.
Strikes Back. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi all take place in about a 5-year period of time. So he's roughly between like by the time he gets eaten, he should be about like 38. By the time he gets taken in by the Sarlacc, he should be about 38 years
he's
old.
like 40 something. Anyways, I get you.
So
I think he's supposed to spend several years with the Sand People too. So
yeah,
at the end of that
so
arc,
he's supposed to be like in his 40s in
Yeah.
in the Boba Fett show. So yeah. Let's see.
they did a really good job showing that so much time passed with him with the Sand People.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like that part. I enjoyed that part. I
enjoyed it. It's just they didn't really clarify that he spent 5. I think it's supposed to be like 5 years with him.
Well, I think it was supposed to have been like 5 years, all the way up until we see him returning to Tatooine. It doesn't. There's parts of it where it doesn't really say like what. Like we know he's on Tatooine for all that time, but he wasn't with the Sand People the whole time. Because we know Mandalorian, which is when he first shows up, is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And that's where he runs into Boba Fett again. And Boba Fett's already done all the Sand People stuff and everything else, and is trying to track down his armor and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know what the exact is. And yeah, you're right. They didn't really get specific on what the time frame was for how long he was with the Sand People. So, but I don't know. It's either way. There was good and bad to that, and then Obi-Wan, like I've said many times before, it just should have been a movie. There was 2 to 2.5 hours worth of really good content in that show, that would have made for a fantastic movie. It did not need to be a 6-episode series because that just got them to put more stuff in there that kind of drug it out and wasn't that great, and it would have been a much better movie if it had moved quicker.
If they went with the original storyline too, it was supposed to be him and Luke, young Luke.
Yeah, and that just no. Look, and so both of those shows had issues. I understand why people didn't just immediately jump on board with Andor. I get it, but what I'm saying is now you should.
But I think everything wrong with Obi-Wan is forgivable, due to what I did like. So yes, there are parts I didn't like. I thought there was some weak stuff, but the good was really good in my opinion.
The good outweighed the bad in Obi-Wan for me.
And like given the story, I thought it was awesome and I liked it. Like at the end, it makes Obi-Wan way cooler. It really explained a lot with like how he struggled, and then it was cool because then he was at peace with himself at the end. And he had like fulfilled a mission and like kind of come back from a real hard time. And I liked that. So,
yeah.
One thing that show was really dumb with Obi-Wan though, getting in run through of a lightsaber is no longer fatal. So Qui-Gon Jinn was a wimp. He got stabbed once and he didn't survive. A youngling can get stabbed in the gut and survive, and then get stabbed again as an adult and still survive. The Grand Inquisitor gets stabbed in the gut and survives.
Yeah. Let's see. I think Qui-Gon, it was a means to an end. I mean, he was always supposed to die. They just didn't do.
Well, I was just making fun of like the fact that getting stabbed with a lightsaber is basically meaningless now.
Yeah. Eduardo Espinosa out in the chat says, "Is there anything good on Netflix? Feels like the discount movie bin." That actually leads me into my next topic that I wanted to talk about here real quick. Just throw it out there for anybody. I watched the new series. It came out last week. I can't remember when it came out. Anyway, I watched it, in the last few days. It didn't actually take that long to watch it. It took I mean, you could watch it in a day, but the new show Wednesday.
Is that any good? Because my wife's been wanting to check that out.
I really liked it. I was unsure if it was going to be like more just like for kids or something, but it wasn't. And I didn't even realize this, but it was like directed by Tim Burton, that whole series. I didn't know that. It was really good. Like it did a good, solid job at telling. I mean, I'm looking forward. I hope they do a season 2 at this point. So
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. You just got to remember. I mean, the rest of the Addams family are background characters because this show basically is about Wednesday going to a boarding school, and that's kind of why I thought I was like, it's going to be, whatever. I thought it was just going to be for kids. You know what I mean? So, I was like, I put on the first episode and I was like, wow, the first episode was really good. So I just kept watching it. And it was good. I really liked it. And that's on Netflix. So if that's something you want to watch, I can't remember, it was 8 episodes, something like that. I can't remember.
Is it like some of the best of the Addams family? Like when they get sent to camp and how funny that stuff was. Like remember the movies?
Yeah.
Like is that what this is?
This is very evocative of the movies. But a lot of it's like a fish out of water thing too, sort of. Like she's going to a boarding school where there's all these there's fucking werewolves and vampires and all this stuff there at the school, but she's still the weird one. You know what I mean? She's still the odd man out, and so there's still plenty of that kind of oddness that you get from that, from the movies and stuff. Like when we're talking about when they went to camp and stuff like that, because she's still the weird. They called her the weird goth girl sometimes. There's all kinds of stuff. But it was done really well. I liked it. I think it was something that, kids could enjoy, parents could enjoy. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was a good show. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds like a watch.
Huh?
Sounds like a good watch.
Yeah, it was good. And I liked the Addams Family anyway. I grew up watching reruns of the Addams Family back in the 80s when I was a kid. I liked both of the movies. I thought they were well done. And this it's great. I really liked it. So, I mean, if you like the Addams Family, or whether it's the old show or the movies or both or whatever, like this is definitely something worth watching. It's not just a kids thing.
I saw who they picked to be Gomez Addams, and I thought they could do better.
I thought they could do better as well, honestly. Like, especially because like there's flashbacks of them in 1990, and he's supposed to be in high school, and I'm like, that dude wishes he was in high school in 1990.
Right.
I'm like, no, sorry, man. Yeah,
that dude he's got to be like 70 years old, right?
The dude's I don't know, he's like at least in his 60s. But
you went from Raul Julia to the thing that looks like he ate Raul Julia.
Yeah. So it's fine. Again, they're background characters. Catherine Zeta-Jones did a great job as Morticia. So that was good. They brought in what's his name? You ever watch Portlandia? No.
Okay. But no one is going to be. What's the guy's name who played him in the movies?
Who?
Gomez.
Played who? Yeah, Raul
Who
Julia.
played? Yeah, that guy. He's the best Gomez ever. He's better than the guy from the TV show.
Say better than John Astin. John Astin was awesome.
Okay, I'm telling you that Sean Astin is good. John Astin is good, and I appreciate what he did. But I'm telling you that the dude from the 90s. That's Gomez.
Yes, Raul Julia did an amazing job. Yes,
and it's super sad that he died. Like right after that, or after that, in Street Fighter.
Well, it's what's sad is that Street Fighter was the last movie he did. That's what's sad.
Right. Yeah.
And he only did that, but just for his kids.
Yeah. That movie's horrible.
It's not that bad.
Okay, I gotta tell you. Listen, that is all. No, listen. Okay, I love that movie because I was like 8 when I saw that, so it was the coolest thing ever.
No,
I got blue
that
camo.
So bad.
I got blue camo because of that movie, man. I was running around with a tank top and blue camo pants and black boots.
I think that movie
Thinking
came
I
out
was-
when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see it because I liked Street Fighter. And I also liked Jean-Claude Van Damme. Thought he was an odd choice for the quote-unquote American Guile. But I was like, okay, I like Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I was like, the whole time I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? This is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
This is bad,
Well,
man.
why is it Ryu and not the main character?
Yeah, it was a bad movie, man. It was all kinds of bad. There was nothing redeeming about that movie. But anyway, yeah, Wednesday, great show. Go check it out if you like the Addams Family stuff. It was on point with all that stuff. So I liked it quite a bit. Quite enjoyed it. I do have another super chat here. This one came in from Jacob. Says, "Did you find those patches yet?" LOL. No, I have. Okay, look, I just haven't gone and looked for them. Still, I know it's been like 2 weeks since you asked me the first time. I know.
Shit, I forgot to text you today about going to your PO.
Yeah,
box.
you did. You forgot to text me. You're supposed to.
I did.
You need to text me about checking my PO box and finding those damn patches.
Definitely Corey's fault. I'm going to blame Corey.
Let's just blame Corey.
Yeah,
That seems
it's my
to work.
fault. My bad.
I think that works.
Sorry, Jacob. I let you down, man.
Yeah. Calvin Republic says, "Oh, and the Emperor survived being thrown down a mile-long shaft and the Death Star blowing up and the chunks of it crashing onto a planet." Well, I don't think he survived. That was a clone. I mean, we still don't need to talk about those movies, but if you're going to talk about those movies, I think the thing is he was like a clone or something. He wasn't.
He was a clone.
He wasn't
'cause it's
the
his
actual
essence.
Emperor. He wasn't the same guy.
Yeah, he learned how to transfer his essence, or his like whatever. So
Which
that's
they
what was
got
so
that
fun.
from back during the Dark Empire comic.
Yeah,
back
that's-
in the day, which was great, by the way. That's a great. I'd love
Yeah.
to see that story told in Star Wars. Do a movie about Dark Empire, and then do that, and then give us the Thrawn trilogy. That's what they should do for movies, right there.
That's what it
Hold
should
up.
have been in the beginning.
Yes.
It always should have been, hey, whatever we have to do to pay all these writers to get a hold of their material and make it canon.
Yep.
And that's the story they should have gone with. And you could have picked any of that. You could have picked any timeline.
By Kathleen Kennedy to completely ignore and throw all the extended universe stuff in the trash.
Oh man, that's probably the most egregious mistake that they've ever done.
Then she did an interview years later when what they were doing was failing. It's like, well, unlike Marvel, we don't have this big history to pull from to do all these stories. Yes, you did. You threw them out.
They had
All right,
25 years worth
of good stuff. Like the only stuff that was questionable was the Yuzong Vong or whatever.
Yeah, and they could have just left that out. That's fine.
Yeah,
That
and
was
that's
the
like
very
the end.
end.
Yeah, so like you had so much. Just do Thrawn. Just do Thrawn. I'm telling you, 3 movies of Thrawn would have been awesome.
Great. Yep.
And you could have just made it like, I know that Thrawn was like when they were younger, but you could just put it back. You know what I mean? So like instead of Thrawn happening at like 5 years after Andor, it could have happened 30 years after Andor.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
just think they need to recast, and that was something I know they didn't want to do.
Well,
but they should have recast and got new actors to play the roles that we already knew. It's been a long time. We need to be able to tell these stories. Okay,
I will agree with you because
Instead
I
of-
liked Han Solo, and I could chew and bite that it's not going to be Harrison Ford anymore, and it's going to
Yeah.
be somebody else who looks and sounds like him. So yes, I would
Yeah.
agree with you.
Just recast. There's plenty of stories to tell. Nobody's going to care if you recast. Okay, we all understand it's been a long time, and those actors are not able to do that stuff anymore. We'd rather have the stories. Kind of the same, thing I've said about Black Panther. Like, I think I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. Did a fantastic job. Chadwick Boseman did a fantastic job as Black Panther. But I think the role of Black Panther is bigger than any one actor, and that goes for Luke and Han and Leia and everybody else. It's bigger than one actor. These are big stories with lots of mythology and lots of, time to cover and stories to tell and all this stuff. and no. So
There's
that's what they should have done. They should have just recast.
there's an actor that's actually played a young Harrison Ford in other movies named Anthony Ingruber. He looks damn close to Harrison Ford at that age.
The guy, I like the guy from the young Harrison Ford stuff. That was good. So,
I don't even care if the actor looks exactly like them, as long as because I don't need the person to be Harrison Ford. I need the person to be Han Solo. I need the person to be Luke.
Good statement.
I don't need it to be Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
I just need a good Luke and a good Han. That's all I need.
And
so I'm not stuck on you giving me. Oh, it's got to look just like Han Solo and it's got to have the same voice or Harrison Ford and all that. I don't care.
Yeah, gotta look like Han Solo.
Yeah, the only reason I brought him up because he did a really good job playing a young Harrison Ford.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. He was from that movie where was it called Adeline or something? Right? Where he's like, I've never seen the movie.
Adeline, yeah.
My wife's seen the movie. I never have, but I know about it. And it's where it's like this chick who for some reason doesn't age. And then as it moves through like Harrison Ford plays the older guy that used to be in love with her when he was young. And then now like his son's in love with her or some weird messed up crap or something. I'm just like,
yeah. I know what movie you're talking about now.
Yeah, and there's a dude in that movie that plays a really good young Harrison Ford. So,
yep, that's what it is. It's in the
Age of Adeline.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've heard it's good. My wife liked the show.
It's a good movie. I remember after you said that. I remember watching it, and it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but okay, Duke.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna do. Go ahead.
So we have. I know we discussed a little bit on Monday, but this is the Geek Chat. We have to discuss the series finale of Walking Dead. And I'm sorry to do this to you, to bring up all these memories again from last week.
So it's been a few days.
Yes.
Where are you at?
Where am I at? Surprisingly, the same place I was Monday when we talked about it, which is, it was a good episode of Walking Dead. It would have even been a good episode, a good finale to a season of Walking Dead. However, it was a horrible series finale. That's where I'm at. Like, it was one of the better episodes we've gotten Walking Dead in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was not what it needed to be a series finale in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it was very lackluster.
Yeah.
And I thought that we emphasized on things that really didn't matter. Like caring about the guy with the harmonica, which his name escapes me at this moment. Him and his visually, when his girlfriend got eaten, that was awesome.
Yes.
The way that she disappeared into the crowd of walkers, on point. Him getting his face when he sees his girlfriend being eaten was amazing. I went back and watched it because I saw a clip of it. That was classic, awesome Walking Dead Greg Nicotero stuff. It was way throwback to good zombie scares. I was happy with that. I was happy with finally they did some good character development with Father Gabriel. And did you notice his full cycle redemption? When we met Father Gabriel, he didn't let the people into the church because they were he said that they were they were crazy. They were not crazy. What is the word he used? Whatever. They were hysterical. He didn't let them in because they were hysterical and it scared him. And then at the end, he lets all those people who were hysterical into the upper
into the gates.
Into the gates. That was cool. But it's overshadowed by I don't care about this new group. There was so much emphasis on this new group and them reuniting when I'm no, these aren't people I care about. And And Rosita, okay, like she died, but it was like Rick was dying. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
put so much emphasis.
It was just look, would have been a good, I don't know, season whatever the fuck finale. Cool, nice, all
Yeah,
right. Because a lot of shit happened. There was a lot of good in that episode,
yeah,
but as a series finale, it missed the mark on just about everything. Like,
yeah.
period.
Like
It
the
was
ending
just
was dumb. It was dumb. Uh, the lady didn't get Pamela didn't get her comeuppings. So that was stupid. She kind of took the place of her son in the comics, where she
yeah.
was just put in jail. Which that no, I wanted to see her
That
head
wasn't even the
explode.
best run in the It was actually, in my opinion, that was the worst run in the comics.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole
that was
Commonwealth thing.
the Commonwealth was running out of steam, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I guess it does have to end. But like, no, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. My biggest issue now is how they ended it. I mean, it was dumb. We do another year jump, so now Rick's been gone for almost 10 years now, right?
Well, no, because Judith is. I mean, maybe a couple. He's been gone for like a couple of years. Because
No,
remember, Judith is. Well, no,
he
wait.
was
When did
gone
he leave? How old
7.
was Judith when he left?
She
No,
was
that's
like
right. You're
3.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
no, she was like 3. There was
yeah.
a
That's right.
7-year time jump from when he went missing.
And now
There's
we've
been at least in season 11 alone, there's been like a year or two, and then there's another year at the end.
yeah.
So I think we're close to 10 years out. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. I don't know. It's and okay, so I didn't like the ending. I thought it was like just done poorly. I mean, what else? What do you got?
I mean, not much. I mean, look, and this show was essentially, yeah, we need to tie up the storyline we've been going with for 2 fucking seasons.
Yeah.
And we also want to just leave the door open for you to watch the other shit we're going to drop next year. That's what this was. And again, it felt more like just another season finale than it did a series finale, because honestly, I think that's what it was, which was, we're going to end the current storyline we're in, and then we're going to, put a whole bunch of stuff out there that's going to make you want to come back next season, except it's not next season, it's next show, which is, the other shows we're going to be watching. That's what it is. That's what this did.
Yeah.
This was not a series finale.
Okay, right. And so so this just we'll go into it. Did you hear the stuff about the Negan and Maggie show?
I mean, other than it exists and
The stuff that came out this week, and I guess there was more to do with the after show and Talking Dead.
Yeah,
but
I didn't watch any of that shit.
Yeah, I didn't either. The quote from it is that the Negan and Maggie show takes place a year or so after the finale. And it says, quote unquote, Negan is back to his old ways. So I'm thinking, what was his whole story arc about then?
Then it means nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
So his whole redemption arc, the nod he got from Daryl, which was kind of cool. And his conversation with Maggie, which was good. I thought that was a good part of the finale, where she's like, look, I'm never going to get over this. Has meant nothing. And so I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that.
If they revert him back to the old Negan, then it's just, they might as well not even do the show.
Honestly, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. They're not going to. That may be like a tease or something.
I think it's a tease.
But I don't think they're not gonna go back on.
And it might be that like his wife is dead, so he's like in a pissy mood and he's killing bad guys. You know what I mean? That could be like that could be like what they mean. Is he's like out there murdering like bad guys and like not caring about it. And that's him going to his old ways type deal.
Yeah. But the whole Rosita dying and everything, that's not a big surprise, because didn't she herself talk about it like a year or so ago about wanting to leave the show back around when Michonne left?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't pay attention to these actors outside of the fucking show. Like, I don't give a shit what they say.
Well, and
Well, it's
according,
just they were talking about it in conjunction with the show. I don't know if it was like at a con or
they were
Yeah.
saying that it was her idea. She wanted
Yeah.
it to happen, and I'm like, okay, that's dumb. But
Whatever. It's a series finale. It's not like
Yeah.
there was any big like, oh, you want to leave? Oh no, that's so brave of you.
It
Fuck
wasn't
off.
like she was getting her own spin off.
Yeah, no,
Right.
like, fuck it, whatever. Nobody
But with
gives
the
a shit.
ending of the show, wasn't it already planned and already in production before we found out about the spinoffs?
What her death? I have no.
No,
idea.
the whole series
Oh,
finale.
well, I mean the end of the show.
Yes, the series finale, wasn't it already?
Well, I mean, the
being
Rick
done
thing was
before?
already set in stone before we knew there was ever going to be a finale. Because the
Yeah.
Rick thing was supposed to have been 3 movies 2 years ago now.
4,
Okay.
But
4, Matt. 4
no,
years.
because it was supposed to happen in 2020, but then COVID hit, and they never
Okay.
went into filming. So
But-
2020 was the year we were supposed to have gotten the Rick movies. They were
Mhm.
going to do 3 movies showing everything Rick goes through, and then eventually ending up back with the group. That was the plan. 3
But
movies
he
over the
left-
course of a year.
But he left in 2018, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but no, well, I know, but we weren't supposed to get the movies till 2020.
Right.
That's
okay.
when we were going to get them, and then like they never happened. So we were supposed to have gotten Rick's story 2 years ago, which was before we knew the show was ending. So as far as the Daryl spinoff and the Maggie and Negan spinoff, no, we didn't know about those. We knew about the end of the show before we knew about those.
Yeah.
But we didn't, but we did know there was going to be more stuff. We knew at least we were going to get Rick's story and he was going to come back and all that kind of stuff before we knew the show was ending.
When would we expect to finally figure out what the fuck he's been up to this entire time? Or
Next
are we?
year, supposedly.
It's supposed to be Negan and Maggie in April, Daryl in the summer, and then Rick and Michonne in the fall.
Yeah, probably October would be my
So
guess.
that's our time frame for everything.
Okay.
So
And then at some point, Fear the Walking Dead's in there, and some point
Yeah.
they're bringing back Tales from the Walking Dead, and
yeah,
I
okay.
still
So
haven't watched the last episode of that show.
okay, so Matt, what did you think of the Rick and Michonne stuff though?
I mean, it was fine. It was good. It was nice to see Rick again. It was nice to see Michonne again. I liked it in the context that we got it as like this little ending tag to the fucking finale that wasn't a finale. It kind of sucked and felt like too little too late. But it was fine. I mean, I like that we got the little bits that kind of showed, how his boots and some of his stuff ended up where Michonne could find it and things like that because he was in the midst of running away and
which
trying to
means
get
that-
back to him and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that means that what we saw though has to be like year 2 or 3 of him being gone. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So when did Michonne leave? Michonne left when Judith's already the age she is now because she was
7.
on the show at
Yeah.
that whatever that age, whoever that actress is.
I think Michonne's been gone for a couple of years.
She has.
Yeah.
At the end of the series, Michonne has been gone for at least 2 years, in my opinion, if not more.
And the last
Probably,
time we saw her, she was trapped into that abandoned building because that dude drugged her up real bad.
She was riding off with her new friends,
Mhm.
walking
Correct.
towards the big horde. So that's the last time we saw her. I liked seeing Rick. I was cool to kind of see, like he was being called Consignee Grimes. So we're trying to figure out what that means. Like the theory that I heard is that he's not actually, because we do know what that uniform is. That uniform that he had on. That's a uniform of people who are like disposing of walkers in mass, with those sticks and with the jacket. But the theory that I have been privy to is that he's someone semi high up in the
he was. Well, that's why he got brought in. Remember? He's an alpha. Remember, he's an alpha, and they brought him in, and so he would have been somebody high up. He was probably getting punished for something, which is why he was in that uniform.
Or he stole the uniform so that he could try and escape, is what I
Maybe,
thought.
yeah.
But they called him consignee because that's somebody who takes ownership of material and management or something. But it could just be like I thought it was like a detainee type thing. So who
The fact
knows?
they called him Grimes mean they knew who he was, which
Correct.
that's why I kind of thought he was getting punished because he was in that uniform getting called a consignee, but also being called Grimes, which means they knew who he was.
Right.
So I thought, well, he probably got punished and was on like shit duty for trying to escape or something. And then, of course, he escapes again, and then they catch him again and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I just, I liked it. I was kind of excited. It was kind of neat, that part, you know. I wish there was more, but we'll get more. And Denai Guerrera is the one who is in charge of the she's writing and directing the show, or she's not writing it, she's directing it. She's directing and producing or whatever. So I got some faith in her that she's not going to mess up her own character. She's going to want it to be good. Are we just getting one season, or is it multiple seasons? Do we know?
I have no idea. I'm assuming
They haven't stated yet.
All right,
I feel like to wrap up that story, it would just be a mini series. Would be like the best case scenario.
I don't know, man. Once they see the money,
That's true.
so I don't know. I like.
I mean, look, if they would just want to bring Rick back, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's have an ongoing Rick show or something. I don't give a shit because that's when the show is good. So
he's had a couple of years off, so now he sees what people are excited again to see him. So I think it could be super cool. But now you have to explain why Daryl's going to be in France. This is going to be goofy. I'm worried about that.
Yeah,
they could do it right, but I just don't have faith that they're going to.
But I didn't get what I wanted, and what I wanted was Rick to pop out and save all of his friends. That didn't happen. So
no, I think most of us called that.
Yep, we tried to tell you, Duke. We were sending text messages to you.
I know.
I know I got here late. Did you guys talk about Andor already or no?
We did actually. Yes,
Okay.
we did talk about Andor. What were your thoughts on Andor? I'm curious.
I absolutely loved it. It's a slow burn, and I can understand why people were getting pissed off watching it episode by episode. So I definitely think if you want to get it in all its glory, you should probably just watch it all in one batch, because it kind of is like a very long movie. But I thought it was great. I thought it was the most adult Star Wars we've gotten so far.
My to sum up again, my thing was, in the end, it was fantastic. It was slow at first, and it took me a while to get into it. But in the end, it was fantastic, and it was the perfect kind of vehicle to tell the story about the birth of the rebellion.
It's very
I thought it was
Jason
good.
Bourne meets Star Wars is kind of how I...
Yeah.
And
It was good,
I think my new favorite character might be Brasso.
Yeah. So yes, Duke, you have to watch it.
Was Glenn Close in this?
Glenn Close?
Close.
No.
Yeah. Who's the lady that comes in blue at the very end and she's got like huge eyes?
Oh, you're talking about his mom. I forget that actress's name, but that's not Glenn Close.
Okay, because it looked like Glenn Close from 101 Dalmatians. I'm just saying. It kind of looked like Cruella de Vil.
I can see how you could see that.
Yeah. She's got a little Glenn Close-esqueness to her, but no, that's not Glenn Close.
Okay, I just want to make sure before I,
Yeah. All right, I got to get to something else here real quick. I want to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Anybody other than myself watched it?
I watched it last night.
I didn't know it was out yet.
Me and my daughter watched it, and I got to say, I really, really liked it.
So
It was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed it. It was very Christmassy, but it was very Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's done very well. Plus, we learned. I'm not going to say what.
Drax got over his shirt issue.
Yeah, exactly. But first of all, like we learned something in this that's we didn't know before about one of the particular characters. You have to watch to find out, which I think is going to be a big deal in the next movie. And also, like, this is the first time, like, I really like Mantis now. Like, she's in the second movie, she was kind of just there, and and then she was there in the Avengers Infinity War and stuff. She was just kind of there. Like,
I gave her a personality. It's like, really,
yeah, and she was good. I love when she kept freaking out on. I love when she gets mad at Drax multiple times. She was actually a good character. Look, it's a good fun, like 45 minutes of Christmas stuff with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. My daughter loved it. Like, it was great. I had fun. Yeah, it's short, sweet, to the point. Short little story, but it was a lot of fun, man. I liked it a lot.
On Disney
worked into with the Drax. Yeah. The whole Drax still takes everybody literally for what they say.
Yeah, exactly. And it was good, man. It was really good. I mean, Drax and Mantis are kind of the characters, the main characters.
Yeah.
Of it, but everybody's in there except for Gamora. But they're kind of the main ones because they're the ones that kind of go off and do the thing that prompts the whole story. And it was really cool to see. I mean, Drax was basically Drax, and I mean, nothing really stood out about him that hadn't already, been in the other two movies. But with Mantis, they did a good job and let her be kind of the main character of this, and it worked. They did a good job. It was a lot of fun. So it's definitely something that if you like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you got to check this out because I think maybe not a lot, but one particular thing I think is definitely going to play into
truly Christmas related on Disney. Seems like they're so against that. It seems like anymore.
Yeah, but they did a good job. It was very Christmas spirit, kind of fucking all that shit.
Santa
like
Claus song at the front was funny too.
Yeah, I wish they would have had Santa Claus from. I hope next year we get a Santa Claus Christmas special where we get to see Santa Claus from the Marvel comics where he's a mutant.
That would be awesome.
Because, I mean, in the comics, that's what he is. Santa Claus is real in Marvel Comics, and he's a mutant. That's how he does all the things he does. He's actually really powerful, too. He's a very powerful mutant.
That's funny.
That would assume an Omega level.
Yeah. So he's, I would love to see a Marvel Santa Claus Christmas special. That'd be great.
Hell yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious.
That'd be a lot of fun. So... But I mean, I don't know. But no, it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. It was great. You get in the Christmas spirit. You like Marvel or Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever. It's definitely a must watch. This was a lot of fun. And my like I said, I watched it with my 8-year-old. She loved it. She's never even watched any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So there's a couple times she's asking me questions like, "What is he?" I'm like, "Well, he's an alien. So just go with it." And she was like, "Okay." And it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
The only thing I thought was weird looking was the way Groot looked.
Groot? Yeah. They've got him. And at first I thought, I was watching and I was like, oh, maybe they didn't have the budget to full blown do Groot. But then I'm like, well, God, they got Rocket, and Rocket was on screen more than that. And so was Cosmo. And I was like, then I started looking at it and I was like, no, that is CGI. I was like,
but
okay. And then I looked at it.
The rubber suit.
It did at first, but then as I was going through it, I was like, no, that's because then a couple other times it was, and he wasn't in it a lot, but a couple other times I saw it, I was like, no, that is CGI. But then I was like,
they didn't really explain anything too. At first, I thought it was like somebody being like a mascot for like nowhere.
Yeah,
like a fan of the Guardians or something. Then no, it's actually.
But
Groot.
What I'm thinking is because if you notice, he looked like Groot from the first movie, just shorter. Whereas in the last couple times we've seen him, he's been the quote unquote skinny teenager kind of Groot. Yeah. And I think maybe they're just bulking him up because he's getting older. And so maybe that's what he's going to look like in the new movie. So that's the only thing I can think. Well, because I mean, I know they did film this the same time they filmed the movie. So this was all done as like, they were filming on some of the same sets and doing some of the same stuff while they were filming the movie. So maybe that's just what Blake. Somebody's putting Blake in the other chat. The fucking name caught my attention. Maybe that's what Groot looks like now. He's just kind of bulking up because he's getting older.
My only disappointment was they didn't have the Hoff.
Have what?
The Hoff.
Oh, the Hoff. Yeah, but seriously, Kevin Bacon did a great job.
Oh yeah, Kevin Bacon did an excellent job on it.
Yeah.
It's like he sold the role. Like when he's playing Kevin Bacon, but in the fictional world there.
Yeah.
Well, people were like, because hey, the GoBots are a thing in the MCU now. Like Drax
Dude, that was hilarious. That was so fucking funny. I laughed my ass off. My daughter didn't have a clue what I was laughing at. But there's this one scene in the damn thing where I'm going to spoil it. I don't give a shit. Where they go down, they're going to like Hollywood Boulevard, and they're in front of the Chinese theater, and so there's all the people dressed up as different characters taking pictures, and there's this one dude dressed up as Psykill from GoBots, and fucking Drax sees him and is like, ah! And then Mantis jumps in front of him and goes, stop! Oh, a GoBot killed his cousin, and like fucking trip me the fuck up. Like I was like, that shit was fucking hilarious. It was good, man. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend that. So
I would assume Hasbro was getting a little kickback from that.
Oh, probably, yeah. Well, they probably got some deal or whatever. So
they'd already making the action figures for Marvel.
Yeah, they're probably like, since you get to make all of our stuff and make money off of it, we're gonna use some GoBot stuff. So deal with it. But
Hasbro bought Tonka, which got them the rights to the GoBots.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so that was cool. Definitely worth watching. I'm trying to think if there was anything else really that I was trying to think of other stuff I watch. I mean, the only other stuff I'm watching right now is Yellowstone and Tulsa King. Those are the two main shows that I'm watching right now, like on a week-to-week basis, because we don't talk about Walking Dead, so we're never going to speak of it again, are we, Duke?
We are not.
Ever.
I plan to. I don't know. I plan to mourn the loss of a great show.
Should have done that a couple of years ago.
I just don't. It's like bad Star Wars. It is unacceptable.
It's unforgivable because you know it can be so good.
Yeah, and I'm not like it's not because they don't have money. They have money. So why can't you just produce something that's halfway decent? That's what I like. This was what you wanted to give us? Yeah. Come on, man.
They should have ended it the way the first season hooked us in.
Well, I'm rewatching season 1, and like Matt said, it used to be amazing. I wonder what it would have been like if Frank Darabont had stayed.
Right.
Much better.
Yeah.
But we probably wouldn't have had so much drag out between like the whispers or
no, I think it would have been darker, scarier, and it would have been really good. So
oh well.
I agree.
But Tulsa King is awesome. Second episode was really good.
Tulsa King is so good.
And Yellowstone is still the best show on television.
Man.
It never. What? Excuse me? What did you say? Did you just say meh to Yellowstone?
Kick him out.
Somebody needs to go to the train station.
You haven't even watched Yellowstone though, have you?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I want to. It's on my list. I just haven't yet.
Yellowstone is awesome. I fucking love Yellowstone. Right now, that is the show to beat.
I did watch Bullet Train last night.
Oh, that's a good movie. I like that. That was a lot of fun.
It is fun. It's a lot. It's different than what you normally watch. That's why I enjoyed it so much. It
was good. I wasn't sure what to expect because I saw the trailers for it and I was like, I don't really know what's going on here, but let's watch it and find out. And it was solid, man. Like it was really good. I really dug it. I thought they did a good job. I mean, it had a lot of characters. I know it was kind of promoted as a Brad Pitt movie, but it's really not. He's just one of many characters in the movie that all get like focus throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, it's a very an ensemble piece movie. It's character driven.
It was really good. I liked it a lot. I know I talked about it whenever I can't remember when I saw it. I think I saw it like a month ago or something. I know I talked about it on one of the shows, but
so I went to Best Buy looking for that's usually the only thing I do on Friday. I go to Best Buy, look for movies, and it was pathetic what they put out for movies now. Like on sale stuff, used to be rack up on a Black Friday, but now they just don't really seem to care.
Yeah.
Heck, their movie section went from 4 or 5 rows, or if not more, of Blu-rays, DVDs, HD, UHD, to a single rack down the row.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just because not as many people are buying movies by a lot. People just aren't buying physical media anymore. Everybody's just getting their shit online. Everybody's streaming it.
Which is to me, I think stupid. I like having my backup physical media because if
Yeah.
you buy it, you don't have real security that will be there forever.
Oh yeah, they've already come out and said, like Amazon and some of these other places, they're like, yeah, you can buy it here, but if for whatever reason, you know, the film company says you can't stream our stuff anymore, we stop giving you the rights, and it doesn't matter if you paid Amazon for that movie, you can't watch it anymore.
That's why it's
So-
good to get the Movies Anywhere app and back up all your stuff. It will move stuff around to different locations
Yeah.
for you.
Yep. So
The
You buy a
smoke said
movie
in
on
the chat.
Amazon, and it'll show up on Vudu for you. But
The smoke
still,
said in the
physical
chat.
media is the best backup there is.
yeah. Let's see. Where are we at? I don't see anything. Scott Patterson says, when I meet vegans, I like to ask them if they'd eat Groot. I mean, one way to think about it.
When you meet
Plants
vegans,
feel pain.
you should ask them if they can lift weights or if they can run. You should do,
The answer is no.
Usually
answer's
they
no.
cannot. Yeah.
It's no.
or if they can
Just straight up
like,
across the board.
they can pick up another man and carry him on their back, or
No.
swing a sword.
No, they can barely pick up their own infant children.
Yeah,
So that's not
They're-
not cool.
weak,
So
feeble arms.
Stallone
I always think about
leaving
that
after
famous,
season 1.
Futurama episode. It's like all the hippies. We taught this lion how to eat tofu, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
silly.
And dying. Jesus. Fucking vegans. What's wrong with those people? You have teeth made to tear apart meat. Like, deal with it. Like, anyway. But
Incisors are basically canines on.
yeah. So, all right, that is the topics I have for today. Unless we want to dig into Disney some more. I know we talked about that on Monday night, but there's not much to say about it other than we just have to wait and see if Disney is gonna, do some stuff that might actually please the fans here. Now that Bob Chapek's out and Bob Iger's back, and they had those two board members come out and leak that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be gone sometime after Indiana Jones 5 comes out, because they're leaving her in charge long enough because they don't want it to fuck with the movies, and she's the executive producer on that movie. So I don't know. I mean, in the end, we'll just have to wait and see. There's
How many years
signs.
we've had that say though? It's like with she's leaving.
I know. Well, I mean, now it's straight up coming from the board. Now, I don't know if that's, coming from them as in they made that decision or Bob Iger made that decision or what, but they're like, it's time for her to go. She gets this one last movie, and then she's gone as head of Lucasfilm. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to replace her with anybody better, honestly. We don't know.
Well, George Lucas trusted her at one time.
Yeah, he did.
He handpicked her, and she ruined everything.
Oh, and George Lucas has made nothing but good decisions over the years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that stuff. I mean, I have no idea.
When they made the Force be like microbacteria in your bloodstream, like,
Metachlorians. Ooh.
So I saw this video the other day about Mickey Mouse and how, how they make the Mickey Mouse cups and whatnot, and it has Mickey written inside. And if you see the reflection of Mickey, it actually says "Wicked" backwards or upside down. And they also spliced in this video to where it was back during when Mickey Mouse was black and white, and how there was a scene where Mickey was like on a conveyor line making cheese, and it would come out whole, but it would pass him and it had holes in it, but he was actually punching the holes in the cheese with his, what?
Okay, so he has like an apron on, and I've heard like, yes, what you're alluding to, and like, yeah, I get it, but like, that's a stretch. They do throw a lot of things. I know they do throw a lot of things in there that are gross and nasty and provocative for like. You can't deny that they do that. That they don't do that.
Mickey Mouse and Disney's isn't the Steamboat was it Steamboat Willie version?
Willie.
And the copyright is about to expire on that version.
Yeah.
And it can't be renewed, so will we see a horror parody like they did with Winnie the Pooh, or some weird stuff with that version of Mickey Mouse?
There's supposed to be more coming down with the whole horror version of Winnie the Pooh. I've already heard several things coming down the pike after that.
Has that movie come out yet?
Yes, I think so.
I didn't know when.
What was it, Blood and Honey or something like that?
Something like that. I have no idea.
But I was watching this show about radioactive stuff, and apparently if you go back to like the 50s or something like that, there's some Disney paraphernalia that was like glazed. The glaze was partially uranium, and so like you can take a Geiger counter to like the Disney cup or whatever, and it's like going nuts.
A lot of antique glasses like that. Certain colors they actually
like old
radium to.
Yeah,
I forget what color. It's blue glass or green glass or something like that.
Green glass and like
green.
Orange glaze from back in the day.
That's a good cup to give to your kids. Here you go, son.
Here, little Johnny and Susie.
Enjoy.
It's mostly alpha and beta radiation, which isn't that harmful to you as long as you don't like ingest it.
Also, like with the back in the day, those factory workers, like the women that worked in factories making watches, they put that radium on their that would make the hands glow in the dark as radioactive, and they were go out at town at night. They'd put it on their lips and stuff and their fingernails.
Well, no, what happened was they had to have like a fine paintbrush, right? And so what they would do is in between painting things, they'd take it in their mouth and like lick it, so that the paintbrush bristles would end up straight, and they're just like eating radium, all day, and then their teeth would fall out, and they'd get bone cancer and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Damn,
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, dude, the 50s were nuts.
Good times.
Daryl Dixon.
Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon. What? Huh?
Did you see my text message that I replied when you said you were in the woods?
I did, and I thought it was funny.
Duke, are you going to bed?
No, I'm gonna stay up a while.
He sounds like he's starting.
Are you going to be there for the late night with Honda chat
down?
40
he's
minutes?
I might try.
Down.
I don't know. I'm gonna
try.
try.
He's crashing. Drink a Dr. Pepper.
What's worked back in the 1950s? They had the world's most dangerous toy, the radioactive atomic energy playset lab kit. Came with uranium.
Oh,
yep.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. I like that. Somebody in the chat, I didn't see who. Somebody in the chat was asking, "What's the best zombie movie?"
Ugh.
Oh, I saw that.
Dawn of the Dead,
Dawn of the Dead,
1978.
yeah. No, 2005.
Nope.
Yeah,
Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
Dawn of the Dead, 2003 or whatever.
2005,
Not a serious answer, but
2005 Dawn of the Dead remake's better than the original Dawn of the Dead.
not a serious answer. But Return of the Living Dead with trash in it.
I'd also say they're not really zombies, so never mind.
I mean, my favorite zombie movies are Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, and Train to Busan.
Shaun of the Dead.
Train to Busan is really good.
I did like Return of the Living Dead from the 80s, where like the fucking they have to burn them in the chimney, and then it brings all the ones back from the graveyard.
But we watched that. We all watched that.
Yeah.
On one of the
That was fun.
We did like
One of the coolest things I found out about Shaun of the Dead when I got the DVD back in the day. When Ed was we're going over talking about what you're going to do get over the breakup, going to go to get some Bloody Marys and list all this stuff they're going to do. When you got the Blu-ray or DVD, it's the name of the chapters of the movie. Skip chapters. You got Bloody Mary, the female clerk that's in the backyard. She's named Mary, covered in blood. And all this stuff they're going to do, it's lined out in that one scene. They tell you exactly what's going to happen in the movie. I thought it was pretty clever.
Like in Spaceballs, where they have to fast forward to find out what's going to happen.
We're watching now. Or whatever the line is.
This is now.
That was then. This is now. Yeah.
That's a great movie. That's one that like you watched when you were a kid a whole bunch. At least I did. And there's like all these jokes in there that you laugh at, but you didn't really understand.
Best.
And then, like, later in life, you watch it again, and it's like, oh.
Best sequel to Star Wars ever.
Sorry.
Yeah, my favorite was I loved.
That's what's sad about Disney taking over Star Wars. George Lucas loved parodies. He'd let you make parody, but you just couldn't. He wouldn't give you merchandising rights.
Yeah, because that's where all the money was.
Yeah,
he learned that early on with Kenner.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, he figured that shit out quick.
Kenner shot themselves in the foot when they quit producing. If their contract expired when they quit producing Star Wars toys for a period of time in the 90s.
Yeah.
And as soon as that ran out, lo and behold, that's when the prequel trilogy started.
Yep.
When George got the merchandising rights back.
How many kids does he have?
I only know of one.
Fuck that guy.
He may have more. I don't know. I've only ever seen one. I know he's got a daughter, but I don't know how many. Total.
Fuck that chick. Seriously,
so fucking rich.
She never did anything in her entire. She never had to fucking lift a finger in her entire life, and she's like a billionaire, just by default.
Yep. Must be nice.
Right.
Oh, well. Oh, fuck it. All right, guys. That's it.
4 kids, George Lucas.
4 kids. Well, fuck all.
Fuck all 4 of them.
Yeah. All right, we're done, guys. That's it for the Geek Chat for this week. We have whittled through all the topics we had. But before we go, I'm going to end this off the right way, and then we'll come back and say goodbye.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble, relentless Retreat! G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there! G.I.
Yes, that'll wake you up, Duke.
Sure will, baby.
I
Oh,
absolutely
will.
love that intro for the Cobra Shadow movie.
That is great. I fucking love that. I figure I played it once at the beginning. I already got my copyright slapped, so might as well play it again as we're leaving. So that is it, guys. We will see you guys. We'll see you back on Never Enough Ammo Monday, and then back here next week for more geek shit chat next week. Have fun with that. Honda, are you doing your chat here in a little bit?
It's all set up. I don't know how long I'm going to go because it kind of hurts to talk. So the more people who are there like you who can talk and talk about things, the less I have to talk, the longer we can go.
All right. Well, Honda's chat's coming up here soon if anybody wants to jump on over to that. And then we will see you guys later. So have fun, guys. Take it easy. And I don't know. Just go enjoy your weekend or some shit.
Bye. Later.
Gone plaid.